Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host, Ainsley Brown, and in today's episode, I want to talk about something very fundamental to special economic zones, and that is land. Yes, land. Um, Zones, no matter what you want to call them, special economic zones, free zones, free trade zones, and foreign trade zones, foreign enterprise zones, whatever the name is centered around land. It's always some sort of physically demarked land that a zone is. So no matter what, land is prime to a special economic zone. And as a consequence of that, land matters will arise from the conceptualization of the zone and the infrastructure that will be put in place to realize the zone, to the actual operation and actual regulation of a zone, or even I skipped out a step there actually, the designation of a zone, whether it be by a government or by private sector, depending on the zone regime that you're in. Both sometimes are allowed in terms of governments being able to designate an area itself, or they allow it strictly for the private sector, um, or both. So an example, in the UAE, Dubai, it is by the government itself. So whichever one of the Emirates would designate an area and say this is a zone and this is its name, this is what its functions are, this is the type of companies that we want to attract to it, and et cetera, et cetera. Whereas you may have others that would allow the private sector to come in, and regimes vary. So some will have restrictions like, the zones must be in this area. They don't designate the area, but they may say it should be in this area, and you have to demark an area and say, yes, I'm going to build a. Others will say you may go outside those areas. However, there are various amount of studies like environmental impact assessments and um, relocation of people and all these different types of studies uh, that is on the investor to do. So you're free to go outside, but there's a catch. You have to conduct all these other studies. So land becomes prime. Now, um, with land, there'll become various types of regulation and various types of rights. So I like to say that whenever there is rights, there's also an obligation. There's always something that flows from the other. So if somebody has the right to collect rent, right? Somebody has an obligation to pay rent on that land or building and et cetera, as you can understand. So land is prime to a special economic zone. Without land, the zones can't really exist as we know now define them as being a geographically delimited area. So just wanted to get that out and get back to some of the basics and fundamentals. So if you like this episode, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you want to see me do a particular subject matter, just let me know and I'll get right back to you.